Hey everybody, welcome back to Vegas Tips and Tricks Weekly, and today's show is entitled Back to the Future. And if you check out the thumbnail, you'll see me way back in the past, but there you go. Some people say I was cute back then. My wife still thinks I'm cute right now, which says I still look young, which proves that one of the most important qualities in a spouse is nearsightedness. But yeah, no, it's an old baby picture of me. And yeah, as you know, we're expecting a child here. We're 29 weeks along, so probably less than 3 months from now. The baby will probably not have his own YouTube channel, but he could conceivably appear here from time to time. Yeah, so another busy week around here. And I suspect they're just going to get busier and busier. So once again, I'm going to take the opportunity to ramble for a few minutes. We'll talk a little bit about Vegas. We'll talk a little bit about my next planned trip to Las Vegas, which is a little more planned than it was before, but still a good many months away at this point for somewhat obvious reasons. I was going to talk a little bit about my upcoming genealogy channel, which some of you are probably aware of. Sorry, I seem to have a frog in my throat today, but yeah, maybe my Bud Zero will help. And maybe not. Who knows? But of course, a very big weekend in Las Vegas. If any of you are there, I'm sure you're experiencing it, whether positively or negatively, with the big Formula One race coming up. I think the qualifying maybe is today or tonight. And I believe the race is sometime very late tomorrow night. So I'm going to try to tune in, at least check out a little bit of that. It certainly has transformed the Strip, for better or worse. Let's just hope that it is a successful event. Excuse me. And a good race, and hopefully no one hits a manhole cover. I'm curious if it begins to rain, will they detour some of the drivers through the Link parking garage and see how that goes? But yeah, but so that's coming up, and a lot more big sports news in Las Vegas. The Major League Baseball this week, the owners, I guess, more or less unanimously approved a request by the Oakland A's to move to Las Vegas. So that apparently is really going to happen now. And another thing that is definitely going to happen is the Super Bowl, which is now just a few months away. Our baby's actually due just about a week before the Super Bowl. So hopefully he doesn't decide to wait around and arrive on that day. It might irritate the doctors. We don't want to do that. But so yeah, a lot going on in Vegas. I will not be back in Vegas for quite a number of months yet, for obvious reasons. Got a lot going on over the next several months. But I was informed last night that I should definitely try to go back to Vegas this next year for my birthday, as has been a tradition now for several years. So barring any unforeseen circumstances, that's the plan, to make it back up there. And likely over Labor Day weekend. I know my buddy Mark was talking about the fact that he's going to do Mark Timber over Labor Day weekend, so Buffet Princess can be there. And so I might as well push my dates up as well, and once again try to piggyback on his event or steal it. So John Timber will be a thing, and it'll probably be, Labor Day or the day before, something like that. We'll see how it works out with everything else. Maybe we'll do a day drinking event or something. That could be different, although really, actually, it wouldn't be that different. Yeah, so that's I haven't figured out how many days away that is, because it's still a long ways away, but that's the plan. So we won't miss a year in Vegas, at least we hope not. And the good thing about that is not doing it right on my birthday is I will be back in town to spend time with the family, so which will be one larger by that time. Speaking of families, as I mentioned last week, we had a visit from my mother-in-law and her husband. Despite the warnings many people gave me about mothers-in-law, it was a really good visit, and really enjoyed meeting them. And in addition to just generally having a good time, the connection has now allowed me to add probably 100 names to the big family tree, which I am pretending I'm doing just because it will be a memento for my son to see where he comes from. My interest in this, or my greater interest in this, does more or less coincide with discovering that I was going to be a father. So I guess kind of knowing about the past and knowing the relationships has meant more. Certainly thought about my dad a lot more since then and discovered a lot more about his family. But on my mother's side, her mom, almost all of her family actually originated in French Canada, Quebec, going all the way back into the 1700s, late 1600s is as far back as I've gotten with some of them. There's some really interesting names in that mix too. So for all of you Canadians, hey, our child will be at least a part Canadian. I think the family tree, which I jokingly referred to as the family forest, is now well over 800 names, and I've got to fill in a lot more gaps there. So by the time the child is born, he should have a sort of epic family tree that includes probably 1,000 plus people. Now, we're not all related to all of these folks. One of the things I enjoyed about pursuing it was my ability to find out connections to people that I knew growing up, but I didn't know I was related to them. You discover you were second, third, fourth cousins with a lot of people who you just knew of as neighbors or friends of the family. So that's been a lot of fun as well. And so at some point, once I'm satisfied with the number of names and dates and places, I'll try to put together some kind of a narrative. I neglect or I hesitate to call it a book, because I don't think it's going to have any particular literary value, but hopefully it'll be something that my son, my family, and a lot of other people can enjoy. I've looked back at a lot of family members, cousins and so forth, and looked at their family trees going back. For example, my cousin Marty, I discovered that on her mother's side, we can trace it all the way back to someone who took a ship across the ocean and landed on Plymouth Rock. No, he wasn't on the Mayflower, but close. So that's kind of cool. She expressed some fascination with that and said that this year's Thanksgiving celebration would have a whole different meaning. Thanksgiving is coming up this week. Probably an interesting time to be in and around Las Vegas. I suspect a lot of locals decide that it would be a lot more fun to go out somewhere for dinner, whether it be a buffet or a nice meal. So I think there's probably a bit of a challenge, particularly if you're waiting until the last minute to find a place to have your traditional Thanksgiving turkey or ham or whatever it might be. But and I think the day after is kind of a big shopping day, even in Las Vegas. So not necessarily what people think of as a Vegas holiday, but I think probably a time that can be pretty busy in the area. And of course, they'll undoubtedly be in the process of tearing down all of the stands and other accoutrements related to the Formula One race this weekend as well. So yeah. So that's coming up this week. Of course, going into Thanksgiving and going into the holidays. As most of you know, I work in the retail business, so it is a very busy time for us and a rather stressful time for those of us working in that particular business. I do have Thanksgiving off. I'll probably spend it having a meal with my mother and spending some time with the wife, but unfortunately I have to turn around and work next Friday, a day I would normally have off. So, one hand gives, the other hand takes it away. But hey, that's living in the world, I'm afraid. Otherwise, I don't have a whole lot to cover this weekend. I am going to, in all likelihood, put together at least some kind of a short this week. I know I talked about doing it last week, but the days I would have normally did it, like Monday night, Tuesday, I was really preoccupied with, well, frankly, more important things. So we'll see if time allows for that this week, and hopefully it will. I kind of enjoyed putting the first one together, so we'll see if the second one turns out to be something better than just a talking head, which is once again what you're getting. Hey, a little shameless plug. Many of you probably met my good friend Kevin Dillmore on this past John Timber event, and others may remember seeing him on my Easter roundtable that included Vegas Visual, Novestro, Ace of Vegas. He has a new book out this week. Yes, he is an accomplished author. A book on Iron Man and the sort of fictional autobiography of Tony Stark. So definitely take a look out for that in your local bookstores. I know it's available on Amazon as well. Definitely check that out if you get a chance. I think it should be a good read. I'm looking forward to checking that one out myself sometime soon. As always, there are literally dozens of people in our Vegas community at all times that are checking things out, reporting back to you, vlogging for your entertainment. So definitely check out the Vegas vlogging community and support those folks who are taking time out of their trips to Las Vegas to share some of that excitement and share some of that information with all of you. All right, gonna let you all go for this week. We'll be back again next Saturday with another episode of Vegas Tips and Tricks Weekly. And until then, I hope you have a great, lucky, and healthy week. We'll see y'all again real soon. Bye-bye.